Welcome to EAC Insight. I'm your host, Anthony Ellis. Today we're joined by a remarkable individual, Scott Neeson, a former Scottish-Australian film executive turned philanthropist. As the founder and executive director of the Cambodian Children's Fund, Scott has transformed the lives of over 10,000 children and families in Cambodia through education, healthcare and child protection since 2004. Scott, thank you very much and welcome to EAC News.
Thank you for the invite.
Yeah.
I know that the current Prime Minister's wife is a big fan of the granny. She's paid for them to go to all sorts of fun places, including the Prince Manor Resort, is it? It's just outside.
Yeah.
I've got photographs of one granny who's 102 driving one of those little race cars. They do love Chanmani. They love her. She comes down regularly.
Really,
she's the real deal. She doesn't like talking about it, but there's many times she's come down quietly and she's given things to the grandmothers.
Great.
God, they do love her.
Yeah. Well, it just shows you the respect that I have for the grannies and your program. I'm sure that must make you feel good that the First Lady pays a special attention.
She's
to
a very special person.
Yeah, I've met her too, and she was very polite, very nice, and
both of them they sponsor some of our children too. Two of our children sponsored.
Wow.
By Prime Minister and the First Lady.
That's fantastic. Yeah. Well, you must feel good that, because I mean, Cambodia has a bad reputation many years ago with so much corruption and everything else, but you're seeing firsthand that they're normal people, they're doing, they're helping, they're sponsoring kids, so that must make you feel good in your organisation.
Some of the senior ministers are sponsoring children as well.
Wow.
And it's not advertised, of course, they don't want it made public, but they do that and they do it quietly.
Yeah, well, that's good.
Yeah, things have improved remarkably. There's the structure of government, the new ministers in charge, the various portfolios are they're far more experienced, motivated, and far more diligent about how they run their ministries. And there's some really good ministers in place. I think some great changes happened there. There's also infrastructure, there's more jobs, more people speaking English, getting into proper trades.
So speaking about the government, how are you finding the new ministry? So they're helping you be able to move forward?
Prior to the latest restructure, the changes, I got good cooperation. If we had problems, they were generally responsive, and they're responsive, they're very communicative, and they were, they helped. They really did help. Whether it was education, Minister of Interior, the Health Ministry, they were good. These days, it's there's a whole sense of it feels like there's a fresh energy amongst the ministries to do more, to really help. I think they want to make their mark. They want to prove what they can do, both to Cambodia.
I've noticed that myself just in the last few months with the new government. They're doing a lot of promoting Cambodia's welfare, promoting that Cambodia is just as good as Vietnam, Thailand for businesses and everything else. Money, I mean, that of course is your backbone to get the CFF, CCF, the Cambodian Children's Fund, off the ground. But also 10 years ago, you helped start another project, CPU, the Cambodian
Child
Protection Unit.
Yes.
Which I don't think it's out there a lot because of the severity of their job and what they do.
And the work is to help the investigations, lead the investigations. It's in partnership with Cambodian National Police, and it's the cases from in the past weren't often prosecuted, where children have been abused, sexually abused, and it needs a more professional and experienced team to investigate, to use, say, forensics, knowing ways to interview the child, and that really enhanced the conviction rate enormously. The government, everyone told me, it won't work, the government will be getting involved, they got their friend, never happened. They've never stepped in at any point to try and change the course of justice, and there has been some senior people too. They've all ended up in jail. And it was remarkable. I mean, basically I ended up being just raising the funds for the CPU. There's a professional team led by Jim McCabe, and I don't add value. I just see the results that come in.
But I think even raising funds plays a big part, because without funds you don't exist.
No, we don't. No,
You know,
it's quite a bit of funds. It includes CPU, education, the community outreach programs, healthcare. It's a significant budget.
yeah, and I've noticed in the last 3 or 4 years, the results CPU are coming up with is absolutely fantastic. You know, unfortunately, there have been some child deaths. Well, but the investigations seem to be found a lot more. So things are moving.
They do, and there are cases where the death had been ruled as an accident, and Jim's team's gone in there and realised it was not the case at all. A few cold cases, and the murders are a terrible, terrible thing when it's a child. I don't think there's any way to prevent them.
No.
But I think there's a change in the sense of impunity towards abusing a child. The case of whether, no matter who you are, if you abuse a child, you will go to jail. And more people report it with confidence.
Well, that's good.